So, welcome to Bergen and Color Live. My name is Tevra Francis, and this is our weekly show to talk to our local friends and business owners about things happening in Bergen County and beyond. Bergen and Color is dedicated to connecting you to the diversity of Bergen County and beyond. And so, one of the things that we wanted to do as we return from this extended break is to connect you to specific topics. So if you remember, before we left, we were very heavily focused on COVID-related resources and programs, food distribution, all of those various programs having to do with COVID. And then we kind of transitioned into more of a social justice, talking about issues related to the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and things happening in local government like in Teaneck, some of the things in Inglewood. So we took a break because it's a lot, and we did our massive community school supplies drive, which was a great success. I still haven't recapped it because I have so much content still coming in. So I will send a recap and share a recap for everybody to see that. But thank you to everybody who participated in that effort. It was a massive effort. So many people have been benefited by it. Literally hundreds of kids in Bergen County were benefited by your generosity, your willingness to just pitch in and help. And this was really a labor of love on behalf of the entire community to our Bergen County kids. So I just want to say thank you once again. With that, I just needed a break. Had some things going on in my personal life. So now we're back, and we're going to be back every Wednesday, or most Wednesdays. I'll put that out there. Most Wednesdays. And I wanted to come back because what I've noticed is that there's a real estate boom or real estate rush happening right now in New Jersey. And for those of you who are homeowners and thinking about selling your home, or if you're a first-time homeowner and you want to buy a home, we want you to get some information that is directly made for you for this time, because it is an unprecedented time. A lot of people are leaving the city and looking at New Jersey for their next residence. So we want to provide you with the tools to be equipped to compete in this market, because it is a very competitive market right now, and a lot of times we get left out of some of the information that's available. So I'm giving it to you on a platter. And with that, we're going to talk to our first guest. Her name is India Delgado, and she is a community relations associate at Lakeland Bank. This particular podcast show, however you call it, is powered by Lakeland Bank. Hey, India.
Hey, how are you? How are you? Can you hear me?
I'm good. Okay,
Good.
we can see you. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, so I was just giving you a brief intro. Lakeland Bank is having this program specifically for first-time home buyers, and we want our people to get to understand what this means, how they can participate, how can they have access to this information. So tell us about yourself and what you're promoting through Lakeland Bank.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me. Hey, everyone. So I'm India Delgado, a mortgage loan originator with Lakeland Bank. It's a bank based in New Jersey. You can
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're kind of losing her. There you go. Uh-huh. We can hear you now. There you go.
Is this better? I'm back. Yes?
Yeah. Uh-huh. We're having a little bit of sound issue. But Lakeland Bank, as you know, is in Bergen and Passaic counties. They have lots of branches here in Bergen County specifically. So can we hear you now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. So definitely a real estate boom. Buyer's market, well, seller's market, actually. Buyer's market in sense of very competitive, lots of stuff out there people want to buy. And then, we're doing, so one of the things that Tevra shared for the community is we're doing a first time home buyer seminar tomorrow. So she shared that on the page. She's emailed that out. So if you are a prospective first time home buyer, that's definitely one of the classes. If you can't make it tomorrow, one of the classes, you can reach out to me, reach out to Bergen and Color, and we can connect on when the next date is, because that's going to be a great starting point. That's going to talk about what a mortgage is, what do banks look for, how do they calculate your income, credit score, etc. So if you don't know where to start, one of those classes is your starting point. You can reach out to us one-on-one. Now's definitely an opportunity even for refinancing. So if there are some of you guys on the call that are current homeowners, depending on, your situation, it's a worthwhile conversation having, because it's a really good place to just have everything, maybe your finances reevaluated and have a financial review, because you could possibly be in a really good place. So when we do the first time home buyer seminars, we just talk about, like I said, we talk about a mortgage payment. So, there's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. We talk about like employment history. What do the banks look for? I work very closely with different nonprofits throughout the community. So we work with, let's say in Bergen County, there's a program called the American Dream. And there's different restrictions like income limits, household size, stuff like that. But if you qualify, basically, you have to either live or work in Bergen County and look to buy a house in Bergen County. And you can actually, depending on if you qualify on the other requirements, it's a grant for down payment assistance up to $50,000.
Oh, wow. So repeat that again. That's the American Dream
program in Bergen County.
Here in Bergen County. How would people access that program?
So you can definitely reach out to me. It's in Bergen County. We're in Bergen County Plaza. I'm one of the participating banks. So they have to do the first time home buyer course. They have to go through an intake interview. And of course, you guys can imagine that lots of people are looking to get in. So it's backlogged, but for a good starting point in terms of income limits and start of like what you need, you can reach out to me. I can help you start the process and put you in contact with the executive director of the Bergen County American Dream, and we can go from there. Okay.
So a question about first-time home ownership. So people usually think that they need to have like a lot of money to even get into the market here, especially in North Jersey with the prices, what they are. Can you speak to that? And is that a requirement for being able to purchase a home?
No, so you don't have to have a lot of money. You do have to have some money, right? So with anything, you have to have some skin in the game. It's kind of like when you go to buy a car, you have to have taxes and insurance. You can't just walk in, right, and get a car with no money. So you do have to have some skin in the game. You definitely want to find out from different banks and different organizations, because there's different minimum down payment requirements.
Okay.
Industry standard, so for the larger banks across the board, industry standard is you can do something as little as 3% down. So if it's a $300,000 house in Bergen County, then 3% of $300,000 is $9,000. But then if you participate with banks or with different organizations like the American Dream that has a grant, that might help to offset, right? And so you have to have some skin in the game for down payment. That varies depending on the bank, the program you're looking for, your income, etc., your financial review. But then there's also closing costs that are separate from your down payment. And your closing costs covers the actual fees of buying this house. So like your attorney, your appraiser, your inspector, you have to like put taxes in a savings account for the first quarter. So, and there's different ways around that. And I know that we have a realtor that's going to come in and talk a little bit about, their piece. And the closing costs kind of can go into the realtor's piece, because that's kind of like maybe you can ask for a credit or a seller's concession, right? And that's why the bank and the mortgage, the banks and the realtors work together, because the realtor does their pitch to try to, one, get you the house, right? And get you that offer accepted with the best, the sweetest deal possible. And then they come to me and they're like, listen, this is the deal. How can you make it work? How can we? Right, exactly. So,
so
I would say for New Jersey, closing costs probably, to expect 3% down plus another, another maybe $8,000 to $12,000 depending on your fees and things like that.
Okay, good. So with your program that's happening tonight, tell us a little bit more about that and how people can log in and get that information directly.
Yep. So it's tomorrow, Thursday, from 6 to 8. It's done on a Zoom seminar. Okay. So it's a long website. I would say the biggest thing would be either to send Bergen and Color a message and they can copy the DM and send it to me, right? Because then I can get you registered. But it is through Zoom. So you can either log in on your computer, you can log in on your cell phone. You have to have Zoom downloaded, and it's just a registration. It is from 6 to 8. So what it's going to be kind of something like today, but much more expanded and
Mm-hmm.
much more formal. So it's going to be the bank talking about the mortgage piece. There will be a realtor talking about from the realtor's perspective. We actually are going to have Jackie from the American Dream talking
Oh, I
about
love
her
Jackie.
grant
Mm-hmm.
on there, right? So we're going to have different breakout rooms to talk about the different grants available in New Jersey and different types of options.
Okay.
So from 6 to 9. So tomorrow evening, and even if you can't jump on for the whole thing, I would say definitely jump on for part of it, and then you can try to connect with the right people accordingly.
Okay. So we have a minute left. Tell
Yep.
us about, your role, how we can contact you,
Yep.
and just general stuff about you, India.
You got
Longtime
it.
big fan as well. So.
Oh, yes, definitely. Thank you.
Mhm.
So, I do mortgages, but my official title is that I'm a Community Reinvestment Act officer. And what that
Okay.
means is that I'm here for the community. So I do financial literacy.
Mhm.
I focus on first time home buyers because the home purchase is the biggest purchase of your
Your
life.
life, yeah.
And right. And with that being said, there's stress, there's complications, and a lot
Hmm.
of people, they think that they're not able to do that. And that's what I do. I simplify the process and I make you feel comfortable. And I hold your hand from beginning to end until you get the keys into your house to make home ownership a reality. That's my role in a nutshell. So you can reach out to me. They tagged me. So my personal page is through India_D782.
Hmm.
Or you can reach out to me through lakelandbank.com and they'll put the
Hmm.
lead. We have social media pages and we can kind of just go from there, set up an appointment and just talk about your financial history.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, India. This has
Thank
been
you.
a wild morning, but
Yes,
we
I
made it
know.
through.
That's it. I know.
So let me read the information.
Yep.
Lakeland Bank and India Delgado, NMLS number 8097756, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Thank you so much.
Okay, girl. Thank you so much for
Thank
your help,
you.
and I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you
You
right
got
after
it.
this call.
You got
Okay.
it. Thanks.
Okay. So that was India Delgado. You can reach her through Instagram, or you can also contact her through Lakeland Bank. Her information is actually on our feed. So if you need help, if you have more questions, or if you want to join tomorrow's chat, you can go ahead and get in contact with her or DM Bergen and Color, and I'll send the information on as well. So we're going to keep this thing moving. And this is one of our friends and longtime Bergen County real estate boss, if she can get on. So Crystal Burns. Hey, Crystal.
Hey,
You look
Tevra.
beautiful. How are you?
Thank you. You do too. I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
So I was giving everybody the intro that you're a longtime Bergen County real estate boss, New York City real estate mogul. So we're gonna, you gotta hype it up. You gotta hype it up. But I'm not far off at all. So I want everybody to get to know Crystal Burns. She is a realtor licensed in New York and New Jersey, and she is with Coldwell Banker, and she's going to talk to us about the buying and selling and the tips that we need in order to get involved in this real estate market.
Yeah. I want to just piggyback on what was just said about the American Dream program that I think her name is India just mentioned.
Yes.
One wonderful program. I put many homeowners into homes with that program. They work very smoothly with real estate brokers. I haven't used it or been involved with it recently because of what is going on in this real estate environment. I mean, it's like a whirlwind. It's almost like New York City is saying, we're moving to Jersey. Like it's been a different type of client. But at the end of the day, what we do as real estate agents is we win the war for you. We try to get you the home. We try to, whatever stage we're going through in an economy, we try to make sure that, you moving through this process works for you. So I think what I would like to touch a little bit on right now is winning the war, winning the actual competitive offer.
And it is a war. I remember when we were at it. It was stressful.
Yeah. And so, educating your buyer on what you're up against. It's not just you who finds this house warm and loving and cozy. There's a ton of people out there, believe it or not, even though you're hearing parts of the economy is not doing great. there are people in the economy who are out here, and I mean out here at fever pitch,
Yes.
trying to win the war. So it's important that you align yourself with the right agent who will help you, you know, get it done. Dealing with a lot of rejected offers, people who want to give up, not move forward. You know, we try to keep it's almost like psychology. You got to keep them positive and keep them going, because there is that right house for them.
Okay.
It's just a matter of making sure that whatever they're bringing to the table, meaning financially and their terms and all that, we literally have to be strategists, like in today's environment. And so, you know, go ahead.
Question. So let's do a scenario. Like, say I live in an apartment in the city. I'm sick of it. I want to move to Jersey. And, you know, what is the next step? Like, what do I do? How do I hit the ground running?
So you hit the ground running with talking to someone like a Lakeland Bank or a good lender, or coming to a good agent who kind of has different people who they can bring you together, put together a team around you to help you understand, okay, so this is really what you can do. Right now, this is not the greatest environment if you have to sell something to buy something. Okay. It's a good environment for that exact scenario you just said. I'm coming from, you know, a rental situation and I want to jump into something. Okay. Align yourself with an experienced agent. That's the best thing I would offer you, because a lot of times an experienced agent will come with a good lender. They will come with a bevy of different attorneys you can speak to. Okay. And they will come with good ideas in terms of inspection companies, so on and so forth. Okay.
So in your experience, you know, like I have a friend who they're looking for a house right now, but every time something shows up on like Zillow, as soon as they put in the request to get information, the house is already under contract. So
it's more like Zillow. I mean, forgive me, Zillow. Zillow is not your friend.
It's not.
No, because Zillow is a third party vendor that feeds off the MLS. You truly should be going to the MLS first. Okay. Because that's where a licensed agent is required to put that information. It's also, if you have an agent who puts you on a constant feed from the MLS, putting in your requirements, exactly what you're looking for. So this way, the minute it hits the market, you know about it. Zillow doesn't get it for a whole 24 hours. People don't realize that.
Okay. I did not know that. So everybody thinks have a realtor to be able to have access to the MLS.
Yeah, well, or you actually can be your own person and go on to sign up at njmls.com, and you can create a customer profile, and you can also be on it. Yeah.
Okay. So you were talking about, you know, it being a war. So tell us about like the actual bidding war. How do you coach your clients on how to manage?
Every individual is different. Some people come with a scenario where they're like, listen, we only really wanted to do 20% down. And we're seeing that even though we're doing 20% down, we're doing a full price offer. We're doing everything we feel that makes us look like a great buyer, and we're still not winning the war. Yeah. A lot of times it's good communication between the two agents, understanding what's the timeline that client is really looking for. How flexible do they need this buyer to be to make this happen? I've won bidding wars with people who obviously adjusted their down payment. Took out certain contingencies. Now, I'm not here for the faint of heart to share with you, okay, we'll take out your mortgage contingency, because we all know you got to get a mortgage to buy this house. Yeah. But there are certain things that you can do, inspection contingencies, that will secure you, so that if you really don't want to move forward because of what other reasons there are, you can do that. But I really feel that you need to really be creative. And every scenario is different. I have not run into the exact same scenario with every situation, because every seller's need is different and every buyer's need is different.
Okay, awesome. So we talked about that. I just want to talk about a little bit about you as a businesswoman here in North Jersey. You've been doing this. Tell us about like your whole experience and all of the things that you do here.
So, you know, I've been doing this, I want to say, since the mid 90s, and I've just always loved real estate.
You look like you just graduated high school.
Thank you. Sure. So I just always loved real estate. It's just always been a passion of mine. I've always helped my friends moving in and out of whatever, helping them find an apartment. It just was something that just was an innate thing that I just loved doing. And also reading the classifieds. I don't know what that was. You know, I didn't read the comics. I read 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I just loved doing that. But yeah, so I started off in Bergen County, Teaneck to be exact. And I worked at a local, what I thought was like a mom and pop, but it was really a chic boutique operation in Teaneck. And I loved it. I learned a lot. And I realized that I didn't want to just work in a very small community, but I really wanted to understand the real estate business. And then I got my broker's license from there. And then I went on to become a broker owner in New York City, which I loved from 2003 till 2012. And then in 2012, I joined a company called Compass, which I love. Nice tech savvy company. And that's where the business is going right now. Technology. Technology is key. And I think that's why everybody's into Zillow, because Zillow really started making real estate more techy.
And now, more accessible.
Exactly. So, yeah. So again, licensed broker, New York, New Jersey. Happy to help whomever I can. And it's all about connecting with that good strategizer. Really.
Yeah. Well, okay. So really quickly, you're a member of the Bergen County Black Business Network. So tell us briefly about our friends at the BCBBN.
So BCBBN is made up of a group of African-American professionals who really kind of want to see the landscape change for all of us. And we really want to start to sit at the table instead of sitting, you know, at the end of the, at the end of the room.
Or in the audience.
Exactly, or in the audience. What I love is we have accountants, financial planners, real estate brokers, healthcare providers, entertainment executives, everybody who sits down. We come, we put together nice programs. I think you attended one of our events back in February, which was actually really amazing, where we brought together a lot of small Black businesses to just come, sell your wares, let's connect, because we do exist. We do exist.
Yeah. Actually, at your event, that's how I connected with Roxanne at Lakeland Bank.
Okay.
Who connected us with me in India. So it all comes around full circle.
Yeah.
So last thing. So real estate here, we love North Jersey. What are the hot spots? Like what towns are like really hot right now in Bergen County?
So I'll say, let's start here. The price point, 300 to 800,000.
Okay.
On fire. I am definitely
That's a big
seeing,
range though.
Yeah, $500,000 range, but it's on fire. I'm starting to see the $1 million homes take contracts a little bit quicker. The turnaround is a little bit quicker. Obviously, I think that's that New York drive. If you could afford to spend $6,000, $7,000 a month in a rental, it's time to acute. Yeah, exactly. And then everybody's working from home. Everybody's using technology to communicate. So, it's a lot of people are leaving the city. I don't think the city will ever totally flatline, but I do feel that it's going to be a different thought process when people go into these smaller little cubby holes now. Yeah. I definitely see that.
You would really have to want to be here. So so with towns like is Teaneck hot right now? Who is like the hot spot?
Teaneck is on fire. I want to say the towns with the considered better school system definitely on fire. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Tenafly is really raging. Yeah. Well, no, it's raging now. I think the higher price point was very slow. Yeah. I want to say prior to February, January, those upper, more, pricey communities, they were having a hard time.
Oh, wow.
They were having a hard time. Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. I live in Leonia, so every time I see a for sale sign, like you come back around like the next couple of weeks and it's...
Leonia has always been that town though. Yeah. Leonia, even in a drier market, you picked a great town. Great school system, everything.
I can't even complain. I love it here. Okay, so Crystal, tell us how we can get in contact with you, how people can hire you on as you know, a potential buyer or seller. Let us know how we can get in touch.
So let me just say this. I just
Mhm.
want to point out also that
Okay.
she talked about refinance. I also want to talk about the move up market. If you
Okay.
have a lot of equity in your home right now, yeah, you can refinance, obviously get a better rate, pay your loan down and live mortgage free. That's great. But for some people who still want that write off, still, maybe want bigger quarters, this is an excellent time to move into that move up market.
To level up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to
Very
know.
good time.
That's good to know. Okay. So, yeah, well, okay. So so if you want to level up, if you want to sell, if you want to buy, if you
You
even
can
you
reach
rent,
me.
you do rentals too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and rent. Contact Crystal Burns. And Crystal, what's your IG and your contact
So
information?
my IG is Crystal's City.
Mm-hmm.
On all across the platforms. Crystal
Mm-hmm.
City is my IG.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm located here in close to Alpine, New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
Caldwell Banker, where I'm at
Mm-hmm.
15 Vervallen in Closter.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach me by phone. I love to be contacted by phone,
Mm-hmm.
201-925-1228. I know everybody likes to text and
Uh-huh.
email, but I like that human connection and
Okay.
speaking to people. So I'm always open for that. And I'm so happy for this platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Crystal. You've always been a great supporter of Bergen and Color, and finally we do this. So thank you for all of the the rush of this morning. But it's been a
Nope.
pleasure. And also her contact information, if you missed that, it is in our feed. You can just swipe on the image for this show, and you'll see her card right there. Thank you, Crystal, so much.
Thank you,
And we'll
Tevra.
be talking
Pleasure.
soon. Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that was Crystal Burns, New Jersey and New York real estate broker, and she came with some very helpful information. If you need to contact her, her Instagram is Crystal's City. We're gonna keep it moving because there are more people that want to talk to us today, which is great. We want you guys to have all the information, and we're meeting a lot of new friends in real estate and banking, which is great. This podcast. Hey, Dahlia, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm
Thank you for having
great.
me.
I'm great. Thank you for being on, especially on such short notice. So this is
It's okay.
Dahlia Flores, and she also is a real estate agent or realtor here in Bergen County. And so we
Yes.
wanted to talk to you about get to know you as far as your business, how you get your clients, what advice you have for potential clients. So yeah, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Well, I want to piggyback on one of the things that Crystal mentioned, making sure that you align yourself with a professional, especially during this time. The
Mm-hmm.
market is hot and you have to have a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
I have clients that obviously I'm working with, my buyers, and it's all about making sure you have a plan. There's bidding wars every day, and you want to make sure that your offer gets accepted.
Okay.
So setting expectations. I've
Mm-hmm.
had instances where my offers get accepted, which is fantastic. And there's
Mm-hmm.
times where they do not get accepted, right?
Okay.
And there's times that clients feel defeated. But
Mm-hmm.
just making sure that we all on the same page, we all have a plan, we know what we need to, what we need to achieve, and not to lose hope. Okay, it's
Okay.
just a matter of just continuing looking. We are going to find that right house
Mm-hmm.
for the client,
Yeah.
and just just being prepared. Everyone that's out there right now is serious about buying. So
Yeah.
we have to make sure that when we send in an offer, it's a strong offer and
Yeah.
it's a serious offer,
Yeah.
right? So submitting an offer, making sure that the down payment makes sense, the offer that we're making makes sense
Mm-hmm.
for the client and also for the seller, right? It would have to make sense for them to be able to say, this, I would like this offer, let me accept it. It makes sense for me and my
Yeah.
family.
Mm-hmm.
So it is challenging times, but it's exciting. It's exciting because you are competing against other people, but you know that you do have a chance of having that seller accept your offer. So you just want to make sure that it's attractive enough for them to reach out to you and say, no, we accepted your buyer's offer. So it's just preparing and having a game plan.
So with your first time owners or home buyers, what, people that, in our communities and the communities that Bergen and Color primarily serves, we're kind of trepidatious about getting into the real estate market. um, sometimes real estate terms and the attorneys and all that stuff can be intimidating, especially if you're younger, especially if this is your first time. So how do you kind of work with the first time homeowner that has never really thought of themselves in that way as a homeowner?
But I like to just break everything down. It's a long process, and it's overwhelming if you are a first time home buyer. So one of the things that I like to do, we sit down and we discuss how much they're paying in rent. This is one of the things that I want to break it down, and I want to write that number down.
Okay.
And I want them to realize that sometimes they want to be able to move forward and start looking for that home, but they also have doubts, and they're afraid, right? They're like, so once you show them that number and you say, you know what, you're spending $50,000 in rent, and at the end of the day, you basically paying off someone else's mortgage.
Yeah.
This is something that you could do for yourself.
Yeah.
Now they could see a visual and they say, you know what, Dalia, that makes sense. So if we move forward, let me show you step by step. I always support my client, and I always want them to feel that I am there from A through Z, and showing them step by step. And so the first step is align yourself with a professional. The second step is, let's get that pre-approval. Let's see where we are, okay, before we actually start looking, okay? Because then, then we are serious. We're not wasting any time, right? We're not wasting your time. We're not wasting time. We want to be able to focus, get a list of homes that we want to see that you're interested in, and then move from there. So every step of the way, I always prepare my client and I set expectations. This is what's going to happen, A through Z. And every step of the way, I am going to help you and guide you. And that's basically what it is. They feel overwhelmed. There's been instances where the client puts in an offer and it gets accepted. And then I have the client call me back and say, I'm really nervous. I can't believe they accepted my offer. Yeah. And I'm like, right. So it gets to a point now where I tell them, you're going to call me tomorrow morning, but you'll be fine. Everything's going to be just fine. So it's a process. Once they know the process and they know what to expect and what's coming next, so there aren't any surprises, it makes them feel comfortable. And it makes them feel comfortable knowing that they're working with someone that knows the market and knows the process. At the end of the day, you want to feel comfortable with whoever you're working with.
Yes.
That's
so
huge.
I asked Crystal just a few minutes ago, what areas do you think are the hottest right now as far as the real estate market? So what, in your opinion, are some places where people should look and places where people should think, maybe this is a good time for us to sell?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Teaneck is hot. Teaneck's been hot, for months. Okay, and I don't know if it's because I know Crystal mentioned it, but it's just ridiculously hot. I see a lot of
schools. It's a great town.
It is a great town.
Murphy, but they're really doing it in Teaneck. I love Teaneck. Yeah.
I know. Teaneck is completely hot. It's definitely a ton of fly. Leonia is another great town. Okay.
That's right.
No, yeah, you're lucky. Leona is a great town. I love that town. Leona is a great town. So those are the towns. I mean, but then again, you have Dumont. You have people moving into Dumont and looking for Dumont and Bergenfield. These are,
I love Bergen.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of, it's across the board. But if there's one town that comes to mind that is super hot, it's Teaneck.
Okay.
Teaneck, definitely Teaneck. Yes.
Yeah. So in your experience, you've been doing this for some time. So what advice do you have for, somebody who's interested in maybe, investing? They're not a first-time homeowner. They've been kind of thinking about what it is like to do the investment thing. So what are some of your tips for that person?
I mean, this is a different playing field. Okay. A few months ago, an investor would walk around and say, okay, this is the type of house that I want and I want to invest. And there wasn't much of a competition going on. Okay. Nowadays, you're competing. Many of these houses are receiving more than 20 offers.
Really?
Okay. So you have to understand, you may love the house, whether you're an investor or whether you are a family, it's a family that's moving in. you are competing against everyone.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, you really have to make sure that you have, obviously you have the funds
Yeah.
and all that, but it's a more of a competition. Everyone's out there, and everyone is not just the amount of people that are out there is just amazing to me. Many of them coming from New York City, but the fact that everyone's willing to compete and they have the money to be able to also purchase the property.
Yeah.
So there's a competition it's fierce, and it's a whole different ball game, right?
Okay.
Right.
And so, on another note, like, what advice would you have for somebody who is thinking about becoming a real estate agent, a broker, somebody that's looking at this from the outside saying, hey, maybe I could do that? What is some of your advice for that person?
I think, you know what? I think this is I mean, if you are a people person, I'm a people person. I could basically talk to anyone about anything, and I'm super comfortable. You have to love people, and you have to have patience, and you have to want to always learn. This is the type of career and profession where every day you learn. You learn from your colleagues, you learn from your clients, you learn to become a better agent. One of the things that I've obviously, I've seen over and over again, not one transaction, not one client transaction, purchase or sale is the same. Everything is different. Every transaction is different. You always learn from every single transaction on how to improve, what not to do, what to do better. So I think it's a great career to get into. I think it's something, if you are about helping people and making sure that you put your clients' interest and happiness above anything else, you can never lose, and you always do well.
Awesome. That's good to know. So, Dahlia, thank you so much for joining us. How can we get in touch with you if somebody's looking for a realtor right now? How can they get in contact with you?
Sure. So on IG is dahliaflores.nj realtor. And I'm over at Coldwell Banker, 15 Beverly Street. I also work with Crystal. We work in the same office. And my number 917-686-2129.
Okay. So you guys heard it here. If you want to look for Dahlia's card, I have it in the feed, so you can just slide and you'll see her information right there. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
today.
You so much. Have a good day.
Short notice. This was...
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and yeah, all the best to you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, so that was Dahlia Flores. She is a realtor here in New Jersey as well, and lots of great information. This show will be available on YouTube for replay if you want to send it to a friend that's looking in the area. If you're looking for helpful information for yourself, you could go back and access it, and it will also be in our IGTVs for later viewing. Just a reminder, India came on and she was talking about the Lakeland Bank first-time homeowner or first-time home buyer webinar, and that is actually tomorrow, October 8th at 6 p.m. And it is presented by India Delgado, who we just met from Lakeland Bank, Victoria Lindsay from the Urban League of Essex County, and Jacqueline Atkins of the Bergen County American Dream. I know it's Jackie. Jackie's on this particular chat, at least she was earlier. Jacqueline Atkins from the Bergen County American Dream, which is a grant program that helps people based on income and lower income to have accessible grants and financing and whatnot for first-time home ownership. So that is tomorrow, October 8th at 6 p.m. And that is presented by Lakeland Mortgage. So so there's that. And if you received our email today, our email has the information there. You can just click right on the image and you can go ahead and register for that program. So right now, let me see if he's here. Is he here? So we have one more person that we want you to re-meet because we've spoken to him before. But while we're waiting for David to come on, there you are.
Hey.
Hey, so David, thank you so much, David. David Carler is a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. And he's going to talk about, bring it home with some of the finance stuff that we need to know as far as getting our own finances in order, credit, what it's like to become, ready for the real estate market. So take it away.
All right. Thanks, Deborah. Good to be here. Good to be here.
Thanks for coming back again, and again on such short notice.
Listen, this is what I do, right? That's, you got to be prepared for it. So, real estate is a huge chunk of everyone's net worth, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure that you're building a healthy financial profile, including mm-hmm. real estate. I would say when you're embarking on the journey of selecting real estate, especially first-time purchasers, mm-hmm. There's certain things you can do and prepare ahead of the first conversation you even have with a professional. Just things to know to empower yourself going forward. Mm-hmm. I always say keep three things in mind, right? The obvious one is the credit score. There's a lot mm-hmm. of programs out there, on the, I'd say 650 I've seen kind of serve as that unwritten minimum. If the credit score is at least 650.
650, okay.
You should be able to do some things with it. Mm-hmm. Another important metric that's tracked when you talk about purchasing and mortgages is the debt to income ratio, right? Mm-hmm. There's a wide window there. And okay. It's simply, the spirit of it is simply, you don't want the real estate purchase to be a large chunk of your income. So if you're making $100,000 a year, or let's say you're taking home $5,000 a month, you don't want a $4,000 mortgage payment, right? There's not a lot of room for anything else.
Yeah.
So you want to be under that. You want to be under 50% debt to income ratio, including the new loan that you will acquire.
Uh-huh.
All right. And then you want to strategize your down payment. A lot of times people think they need $100,000, $200,000. They're not familiar with FHA and all these other programs. Mm-hmm. But, as low as 3.5%, I think I heard someone even mention it, as low as 3.5%, mm-hmm. you can get into a decent house, right? So just know those things. And I think that's a good start. And figure out what you can afford. There's so many mortgage calculators, right? So what you can back into your actual mortgage payment, like I said, without even leaving your home. Everything's on the internet, right? Technology is everything right now. Mm-hmm. Right? So figure out what you can afford comfortably yourself, or yourself and your spouse, or whomever you're going into this with. Mm-hmm. Figure out what your budget is. Have those financial planning conversations, because mm-hmm. you also don't want to be house poor, right?
No.
Make sure you have emergency funds, liquidity. That's like so important. A lot of times people focus on just the purchase, then you get in there and figure out you need to redo the roof, and it's like, oh, I don't have any money.
Listen, right? So quick story about my life. We live in a 100-year-old house.
Yeah.
And we got, a decent deal on it. But the day that we were going to close, we went in the basement. Of course, the basement was dry when we were looking at the house, when we made the offer. When it's the time to close, I was like, what is this coming through the wall? I put my hand on it. My hand is wet. It has water issues. So we went ahead and closed, but that was like, welcome to home ownership. We had to do French drain and all that stuff. It was one thing after the next thing after the next thing. And I think when people are buying their homes, they don't realize anything that happens at this point is all on you. You can't call the super. You can't call the landlord. You got to fix it, and your house is flooded. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'm from New York. I'm from New York.
I'm from New York. The super was everything in those apartments back in the day. But
the super is me and my husband.
Yeah. So just financial planning is key, right? It's understanding. Most people don't know. It's not. Some people have the ability to do it. They just don't know. So it's knowing you need. I always tell my clients between 6 and 9 months of expenses should be in cash. Not in investments, not in the cash value of your life insurance policy. Literally have 6 to 9 months of your monthly expenses readily available in the bank account, shoebox, wherever you keep cash. Have that, right? That's a good healthy level. And of course, you're going to dip into it, so it's going to deplete, but then you're going to work to replenish it. So we always, that budgeting conversation is key for financial planning. So.
If anybody remembers Susie Orman, she's still, it's not like she went anywhere. She's still out there, but her whole thing is, can you afford it? So a lot of the things that, if you're in general, but especially if you're looking to buy a house, like if you're going to make a purchase of like a car or, you kind of have to like put those in the proper perspective. What's more important, what you drive or where you live? Yeah. So some of the things that, extras, even though we're not really taking vacations right now, but in order to build up 6 to 9 months of monthly expenses liquid, you have to be able to kind of put that monitor on yourself. Like, can I truly afford this, or can this money go into? Can we just take a weekend, you know, in the Catskills or whatever, a drive away instead of a whole full-on vacation, just so we could save a few extra dollars towards this purchase.
It's important, super important, and it's a conversation. That's all. It's not going to be overnight. You're not just going to run up, you know, find 50 grand to keep in the back of the savings account overnight. But it's, if you and your spouse are earning, you know, let's say 10 grand a month take home, and you're spending 7 grand a month, there's 3 grand excess. From that 3 grand, maybe we say $800 every single month, savings account, not touching it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just having that formula. Whatever your formula is going to be, have that formula. So now I know every month 800 until I get up to, you know, 50 grand or whatever it is, right? So I think that's a good way to do it. Chip away at it, and then just monitor and manage the levels.
Awesome.
And,
so what other tips do you have for those who are thinking about, one of the questions I had for Dahlia was investors, like what, and I know your clientele is usually in the investor range. Like, how do you advise them on how to get into that avenue?
So there's so many levers to pull when you, especially when you talk about where should I find the cash for the down payment, or obviously cash is king, right? In a competitive market, cash buyers usually will win, right? So we're leveraging insurance policies, the permanent policies that are growing cash in it. You know, right now, I think, you know, qualified accounts, right? IRAs, you're allowed to take from it without penalty to contribute towards that down payment. You know, if it's a smaller number, like I believe under 10 grand or something, you can take without a penalty or anything like that. Yeah, it's knowing the levers to pull, different line of credits. Like if you have a significant amount of investable assets, maybe you don't want to sell them, but you want to use it. Some banks will collateralize that and say, you know what, okay, if you have X amount of dollars in investments, we'll give you a line of credit equal to those investment dollars without you having to sell it, right? So there's, it all comes from conversations, right? If you're going at this alone, it's going to be tough. I heard both of the professionals before me say, align yourself with professionals. This is information the professionals will give you, right? So, and even after the purchase, are you updating your life insurance policies, right? Are you replenishing the emergency fund account? Like there's all these things that go into it, but I think if you align yourself with the professional, it takes the stress off you. You know, home buying is stressful. I can tell you. You got to look at 20 places before you find the one you like, right?
Please, and that's if you're lucky. Some people I've known have looked at, you know, 50, 100 places.
I hate the process.
Westchester and all of those areas over there. It's like, you know, it's just a lot. Yeah.
Just be organized, know what you can afford, use the mortgage calculators, all these tools, talk to your advisor, your real estate broker. I mean, talk to everyone and really just map it out on paper ahead of time. Don't say I need a house tomorrow. Really think down the line. If you know you want to purchase a home soon, you can start preparing your picture, your financial picture a year in advance, right? Credit score. You know they're going to want to see employment information. Have you been at this employer for at least 2 years? You know, start preparing yourself, cleaning up the credit report. That's something you can always work on, right?
So let's just recap really quickly. So your first tip was to get your credit in order, and the magic number right now is 650 or more or higher.
Yes.
And then your debt to income ratio should be somewhere around under 50%.
Correct. Yes.
And then to expect a 3.5% down payment to have that saved.
Yeah. 3.5 exact to be exact. 3.5.
Okay.
FHA. That's the minimum.
Okay.
20% is still healthy because now you're coming into this with equity, so you're not, you know, so tight in your as far as equity. So 20% is great. So you already have some equity, some net worth that's possible already on day one. So I think that's a good healthy level, and it lowers the mortgage payment.
Yeah. And to that you say use a mortgage calculator. They're found online.
Yeah.
And then you should also have an emergency fund with 6 to 9 months of monthly expenses saved up. Yeah. Right.
Update the life insurance policy because now you have new debt in there. Yeah. So you don't want to forget about that.
That's
right?
True. That's very true.
And discuss the type of life insurance, whether it's going to grow cash or just specifically be just like if I get hit by a bus kind of thing.
Yeah.
Have that conversation.
So that's term versus whole. Yeah.
Have a conversation.
Right. All right. This is great information. You know, the reason, and you've been on here before, so you know my MO. I just want people to understand and get to know that there are people that look like us, that have the information that we need. We need to utilize our community because we need to grow. We need to own homes. We need to own property. We need to do all of these things. And even at a base level, we just need to get our credit together. Like I just want to make sure that people are getting in contact with you, with Dahlia, with Crystal, with, you know, India, all of these people that are here in our community. They work with us. They're here. They're part of the big fam. And like with you and India and everybody else on this call, it wasn't like through I contacted you. You contacted me through various things because we all kind of have that same mindset of we need to work together to get our community where it needs to be. So I appreciate you spending the time, especially again on such short notice. Always a pleasure.
Definitely.
And how can we contact you if we are looking to talk to you further about your
all right. On Instagram, Money, Sports, Music, right? Those are the 3 areas I work in, right? My office is in Paramus, right off Century Road, near, you know, right off Route 4, Route 17, the big building, can't miss it. My direct line, my office number, 201-639-0637. I have my mobile on the website, right? If you went to the website, davidcarler.nm.com, all my information is there as well. But yeah, I'm everywhere. You know, I love it. You know, I love having these conversations, even through COVID. A lot of Zoom meetings. You know, we're doing everything online, virtual. And we do it like that. So it's awesome. A pleasure. Always fun to come chat.
Yeah, no, this was great, and this is like a great way to like kick off. I don't know if it's seasons. I'm just back doing this on Wednesday, so it's good to talk to you again. Good to see you, and if you guys look on the feed, you'll see I made you a card because you need a card. So a card for online though, not a screenshot.
I got you. I have one for you.
So just look at the feed and you'll see David's contact information in the graphic for this particular chat. So David Carler, thank you so much and have a great day.
Appreciate you. Enjoy.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, everybody. So that is it for today. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I'm back. Burgundy Color Live is back, and we are going to have lots of topics, lots of new people to meet. We're always going to have information available on our feed. If you want to work with Burgundy Color, you can email me at publisher@burgundycolor.com. We're getting ready to, again, every time I come on here, I have a new update for the website that has not yet launched. It is what it is, entrepreneur problems, but you know, we're pushing forward. So if you want to work with me and the Burgundy Color team, go to publisher@burgundycolor and send me an email. If you want to share an event coming up, email me at eventcalendar@burgundycolor.com. I need you guys to use that email function so that I can keep track of everything coming in, because like nowadays I get a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff kind of slip through the cracks because I can't see everything. So just email it to me at eventcalendar@burgundycolor. Also, again, the Lakeland Bank powered today's chat, and they have the first time home buyers webinar tomorrow, October 8th, 2020 at 6 p.m. Go to your email. It's in the email that I just sent out for our newsletter. Also, if you have more questions about it, go to @lakelandbank.com for more information. And here is a required. Lakeland Bank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender. Got to do that. And also tonight at 7 p.m., the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated Bergen County Alumni Chapter and Shiloh AME Zion Church, the Bergen County NAACP, and the Bergen Passaic Chapter of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women is having a voter education session virtually tonight at 7 p.m. Also, that is in your email newsletter, and that is called Power of Our Voice, and is presented by Bergen County Clerk, the Honorable John S. Hogan, talking about voting and information about ballots and all that good stuff here in Bergen County. Now, if you live in Teaneck, there is a mix-up with the printing of your ballot, so pay attention. I think the discrepancy is with precinct or area 9 and 8. 8 and 9 were kind of mixed up. Pay attention if you live in Teaneck. There are some printing issues, and you will get another ballot on the way. It was on the news last night. But otherwise, if you have your ballot, go ahead and fill it out, sign it. Make sure you sign it and sign the outer envelope and drop it in any of the several drop-off boxes, or you can drop it off at your polling place, at the post office, or at the Bergen County administrative offices as well. They have a drop box out in front of the on the grounds of the Bergen County admin building in Hackensack. So I think that's it. I think that's all I'm going to talk about today, but we'll be back next Wednesday with Bergen in Color Live. Thank you for watching Bergen in Color as we connect you to the diversity of Bergen County and beyond. Thank you for hanging in there with me, and I'll see you Friday for the Weekend Blueprint. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.